Let's see.
Let's see if we're live.
Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if we're live. Give me a second. Yeah, give us just a second, ladies and gentlemen. See if we're live.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, yeah, see? Yeah. How's everybody's day going? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday.
Fantastical.
A fantastical Wednesday. Yeesh. One second, there we go. Alright, we're just getting ourselves set up here. Hope you guys are doing well. Alright. Okay. Alright. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's get ourselves all set up. Alright. Hope you guys are having a good morning. Good morning, DBL moms.
Good morning, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning. Hello.
Yeesh.
Yes.
Alright. Let me see here. Alright. Getting ourselves all set. Get ready to go. Oh. Good morning. Alright. Let me make sure. Alright, sorry about that. The headset cut out a little bit. Headset doing headset things, you know? The headset always does those little things. Those little things there. Yes, things. Yes. Alright. Let's see here. Let's see. Alright. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see what we got going on. Alright, getting ourselves set. We're doing our thing here. 1 second. Alright. Hold on just a second, ladies and gentlemen. We are just getting ourselves all set up. You know how we do. You know how we do.
Yes.
You know how we do. Alright. Let's see what we got going on. Hold on. Alright. Alright. Okay. Let's get it. What you doing right now, DB Moms? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
I don't know how you doing.
Yes, you should know how you're doing. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How you
Oh,
doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
All right. Ah, that's what I've been trying to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to hear, man. Come on
Okay.
now.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Ah. All right. All right. Getting ourselves all ready to go here. All right.
Easy do.
Yeah, we're just gonna share this on the YouTubes.
Yes. Share this on the YouTube.
Yes, the
Yes.
YouTubes.
Yes.
Can never go wrong with that. Can never go wrong with the YouTube sharing on the YouTube.
Sharing
Yes,
on
you
the
could never go wrong with
YouTubes.
that.
Sharing on those YouTubes.
The tac tac, you know,
Yeah, you
the
gotta
tac
share
tac.
on the tac
Yes,
tacs.
the tac
The
tac.
tic tacs.
The tic tacs.
The
Tic
tic
tacs.
tacs. The tac tacs.
Oh, what's your favorite flavor? Tic tac. I like the orange ones. I like the orange ones, man. It's always good.
Okay.
You can never go wrong with the orange ones, all
No,
right?
let's go on with the
You can never go wrong with them,
Mm-hmm.
all right? You can never go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with that. Never, 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 never. Mm-mm. All right. Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Ugh. Well, yes, we're glad everybody's here. We hope you guys are doing well. We hope you guys are having fantastic days, and hope you guys are having greenable days. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a stunk looked at by us, put it in the chat. Yeah, we'll take a look. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, we shall take a look. We will take a look. All right. All right. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on now. All right. Let's see. All right. We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
And we're back.
All right. Hold on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see what we got going on. Whew. How's everybody's day going? All right. All right. All right. All right.
Yes.
All right. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Let's see here. Get ourselves all set, ready to go. Alright. The Twitter. The Twitter. We gotta share on the Twitter. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alright. Alright. Let's make sure we got everything going on Twitter. There we go. Yes, sir. Alright. By the way, did you hear that Verdansk is coming back into Warzone? Oof. That's gonna be pretty cool. That's gonna be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. All right. Okay. And there we go. Okay. Got everything pretty much set up. Okay. 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 Alright. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Upload this. Boom. And we're ready to go.
Yes.
Okay. There we are. All right. Let's get this started.
Yes.
Let's get this started. Let's get this started, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's do it.
What's up, guys? It's Double Nicks, and welcome to another episode of Microcap Mornings. I am your host with the most. They call me DBL Nicks in the house,
Yes.
aka the Ringmaker.
Yes.
And I'm here with my lovely co-host, the one, the only, the bushy-tailed Serengeti specialist who hides in the tall tree, actually in the tall weeds, in the high trees, in the low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she eats RBs. Yeah, they have the meats, man. You know, you never go wrong with that. All right, RBs with a little bit of kitties. She likes kitties. She likes kitties, and then with 2 cups of coffee. Sometimes we shoot her out the cannon. She goes wee. We call her DBL Moms.
Hey.
But you'll never catch her with an Ouija board. No. Never catch her with one of those.
Yes.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, today we captured quite a few baggers today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share. Because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring.
Yes.
All right? And if you want access to our private Discord, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We are just made different. Just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right? They get all that good stuff. All that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right? You get that filet mignon money.
Filet mignon.
Yeah. They get that. What's another thing? They get that lobster money. The lobster filled with the turkey filled with lobster money. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know people do that.
Turkey. Wait. What?
Turkey filled with duck, filled with something else. I don't know. Apparently that's a thing. I've never had it, but I hear it's a thing.
Okay.
Yes. Apparently it's a thing. Look, don't question me, man. I'm just the messenger here. I don't know, man. It just be like that sometimes.
I see.
Sometimes in life it be like that.
All right.
All right. Let's get this up here, and then let's get this over. Meow. Alright, just setting this last little thingy up here. And we're good.
Yes,
Alright.
good.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Alright. So.
What's going on?
Alright, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. Alright. Let's see. So, ladies and gentlemen, we pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola. Just earlier this morning, we did catch quite a few baggers. We caught a total of 5 so far. 5 baggers. We caught IBG early in this morning before it went up 251%. DGLY prior to its 216% run. RSLS prior to its 103% run. And we actually did a video on RSLS last night.
Yes,
We did
we
a
did.
video on that last night. We did a video on QNRX, 101% run. CNTM, 152% run. Then we called a couple of runners, you know, little baby ones. We called PCSA, 96%. SBFM, 81%. AGMH, 80%. SPWH, 40%.
Yep.
A, is that AAME? AAME.
AGMH.
No, that's
AAME. That's
AAME,
right.
56%. BIAF, 33%, and STSS, 35%.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that wasn't even including what we called yesterday, because yesterday we were crazy.
Right.
Yes. Yes, we were. We were DVM moms.
Crazy? I'll tell you.
We went crazy. All right.
Wanna know how crazy we were?
Yeah, yesterday
Okay.
we called RSLS prior to its 709% run, right?
Lord.
Yep. Yeah. Prior to that 709% run.
Uh-huh.
BIAF prior
Yes,
to a
sir.
484% run. GRI prior to a 213% run. NMAX, which we called this Newsmax, NMAX, which we called one prior to a 183% run, GATE prior to 170, CSAI prior to 136, ICCT prior to 126, HEPA prior to 120, and then IBO prior to that 102%.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, and then obviously we called
Who is?
IBG, which went up 251 today, DGLY 216, RSLS 103. Did a video on that one last night. QNRX 101 and CNTM 152. So
So,
we went a little cuckoo.
yes, tell you.
Yeah, we going little ham.
Something else. Tell you
Little
what.
bit ham, I'll tell you what.
Yes, sir.
All right, so which one are we looking at today? Let's check out CNTM.
Oh, let's do that. That just ran up.
Yeah, CNTM just ran up. It went up to 152, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen. It went up to 152.
Got it to one.
Had a nice shoot up to 152. Was a little bit overbought on the RSI, little bit overbought on the RSI, but nothing crazy, nothing
Right.
crazy. It went back down a little bit though because it was overbought. So now it's not overbought, not oversold. It's just right. You know what I mean? It's just
Yes, it is.
heck. Yes. So
Mhm.
CNTM, also known as Connect M Technology Solutions Inc., ended up receiving a buyout offer from an institutional investor
Mhm.
and received basically the buyout offer was $1.60 per share buyout offer from its three largest institutional investors, and they had expected company earnings today, so they got that going on still. So the float for the stonk is a little high at 14.24 million,
Right.
but the volume is 8.78 million. So
Yes.
the volume's a bit lower than the float on the stonk. We called it, all right. We did call this stonk prior to a 152% run, but yeah, I got to keep an eye on it a little bit because the volume is lower than the float, and the float is a little bit heavy. It was a bit overbought in the RSI. It's curling up past the VWAP right now as we are looking at it. Let's zoom in the room over here. Let's zoom in the room. Yes. All right. Let's get the graffiti pencil activated, and then we're going to do some price action levels. So it shot up immediately over here from 48 cents all the way to $1.27. And then after that, started forming a bit of a pennant. Little bit of a pennant over here, right? Or meow. So it's got to break that pennant for it to be schmexy. It has to break through the VWAP as well. Let's get another graffiti pencil out, see what we got going on.
Right.
Yeah, let's see. Hold on. Boom. All right, so we got that going on right there. We got another price action resistance line at 120. Another one all the way down here at 114. The other one over here at 109. Then you got another support line over here at 105. Got one over here at 99 cents. You got another one all the way down here at 93 cents. Another one down here at 86 cents. And then another one all the way down here at 48. And another one over here at around the 49-cent line. All right. So that's what we got going on. So far, this stunk is getting a little bit indecisive with its wicks. Not liking that, but It has to hold that 105 support line, break through that 108 resistance, then break through 115, 120, and then 127 for it to be schmexy to me.
Yes.
But right now, and the volume is creeping up. The volume just went from 8,000 and change to 9,000 and change. So not 9,000 and change, 9 million and change, 8 million and change to 9 million and change. So we got that going on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on. So we'll see what happens, ladies and gents. We will see what happens. But right now, I'm just saying, CNTM did have a nice run up 157, 152, excuse me, percent, 152.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the stock. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I like to kind of its jib a little bit, but it does have a high float and it does have a low volume, so got to be wary of that. Got to be very careful of that stuff.
Yeah.
So let's see what else we got going on. What else we got. What else we got? Let's see here. Let's check out IBG. IBG. Let's see about IBG. See, I can rhyme. All right. Let's zoom in the room. All right. Let's get ourselves here. All right. Let's get not that one. That one. Aha. Okay. So you got a couple of little A, B, C, D lines here. A, B, C, and then D. All right. And then you have another one over here, A to B, B to C, C to D. All right. And then another ABC just off of that ABC, all the way up here. All right. And again, another one. You just have a bunch of ABCDs going up here. Bop, right there. It's the ABCD party. All right. And then you have another one. It's a smaller one. It's a bit more of an awkward one, but it's there. Right. Right there. So you have a bunch of ABCDs going on here. This stunk, let's check this out. IBG. IBG had a nice run up 251%. 251%. So let's get the graffiti pencil activated. Let's get this other graffiti pencil activated over here. Bop, right there. Okay, hold on. And then let's check this out over here. All right. So it has resistance at the $1.83 line over here. Has some more resistance at the 173-cent line over here. Another one all the way at 167. Another one over here at 160. Another one down here at 154. Another one over here at 138. That's a support line. Almost forgot. 147 has a support line there, sort of. Well, sort of a support line at this point. It's kind of just teetering between the two. It's teetering between that. It's teetering between support and resistance on that one. But we got another one over here at 123. That's a support line. Another support line at 118. Another one all the way over here at 103. Another one at 80 cents, 75 cents, 70 cents, and that's what you got going on. And of course, this one over here at 89 cents. And then 93. So let's zoom in the room. Okay. All right. So that's what we got going on over here. All right. So IBG, Innovation Beverage Group Limited. This looks like it's an Australian company.
It is.
It is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Innovation Beverage Group expanded U.S. distribution of its award-winning bitters through one of the nation's largest beverage alcohol distributors. So you got that going on. That's a pretty good news.
7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
7 a.m. came out.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's check out the float. The float for this stunk is 3.23 million. Volume is 74.4 million.
Wow.
So this stunk has a lot of volume to go with a reasonable float, which is pretty good. I like that. It's above the VWAP. It is above the VWAP. Right. And doesn't really have any. It's not breaking. It's not breaking up or down on the RSI. It is staying completely not overbought or not oversold. It's just doing its thing. It's just chilling. Good. Like that. So this stock did have a nice run, 251%. So we'll see what happens with it, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see.
We shall see. Excellent.
Yeah, so we got that going on. We got that going on. Let's see what else we got. What else do we have here? We got. We looked at CNTM already?
We did that.
DGLY. Did we check out DGLY? Yes, we did. Actually, not well. No, we didn't check it out on the stream. We checked. We checked it out off the stream, but we didn't check it out on the stream. All right, let's check out DGLY. DGLY, we called that stock earlier this morning prior to its 216% run,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. So right now, this stock is currently. Let's zoom in the room a little bit. It does have some history here on the RSI of being overbought and oversold. So, yeah, it's doing its thing there. It's doing its thing a little bit. It was a bit choppy earlier this morning prior to a massive jump that made it go up 216%. So, we got that going on. We got that going on, ladies and gentlemen. It has been above and below the VWAP quite a few times on this little chart over here. So, I'm going to show you something a little interesting here. Bob, it did have another very awkward A to B, B to C, and then C all the way to that one hell of a D. Pause on that. Anyways, but it did move. It did move quite a bit. It shot up, had a nice high all the way over here at 0.083 cents. So about 8 cents and change. Let's go over here. Get the graffiti pencil. All right. So you got resistance at 8 cents and change, 7 cents and change over here, right? 6 cents over here. All right. Another part of 6 cents over here. This is tiny. This is a tiny one. This is a very micro mini stunk there. This is very small. So we have a bunch of support, resistance. These are all support lines over here. All right, so let's zoom in the room. All right, so right now DGLY is forming a bit of a channel. It's channel time, DBL moms. Channel time. It's channel time. Channel time. Let's check it out. Hold on. Let's get the channel out here. All right, because it is a bit of channel time. Little bit, nothing crazy. No, it's a tiny channel right now. It's kind of hopping between these two little support and resistance areas here. So it's got channel time going between 0.062 and 0.067. So it's got to break through that 0.067 line for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Right. But it's kind of just bouncing up and down and up and down and up and down. We'll see what happens. But it has to break through there. It also has to stay above the VWAP because the VWAP is right over here. Currently, it is a little bit above VWAP. It's bouncing off the support line over here at 0.062. And it's trying to do its thing there. But, again, it is also breaking below the VWAP. So it's got to make up its mind. You know what I mean? It's got to make up its mind a little bit. Because if it doesn't make up its mind, you know how it be. You know how it be, ladies and gentlemen. You know how it be. All right? So it's doing that right now. It's doing that. Right, DBO moms?
Right.
Yeesh. She's messing with the headset. She's messing with the headset. Yeah, give me the thing. Give. There you go. You have to flip. You have to flip the cord. You're plugging it in wrong.
I did that anyway.
Oh, you didn't.
Well, before I did,
She's like,
popping off.
square head, square peg, circle hole. Come on.
Wise guy.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we just chilling doing our thing. But
Yes.
it is looking pretty nice. DGLY was looking pretty nice. It's up. Ooh, IBG's trying to curl. Hold on. IBG is trying to curl. IBG is up. Looks like it is trying to curl. Can it hit? Can it break through that 252 high? Can it break through that 252 high? Let's see. All right. IBG, look at that. Look at that. Broke through the 154 resistance and is temporarily broke through that 160 resistance over there. So we'll see what happens here. Let's get the graffiti pencil. Yeah, no, it's because I turned my head away from it. Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, it wants to do its thing because it had a bit of a descending wedge, bop, right over here. All right, so now you got a little bit. Then it moved up off the descending wedge a little bit, consolidated a teeny tiny bit, and then after that formed an A to B, B to C, and then C to D, right over here. Bop, right there. So now it's trying to smack that 1.6 line with the might of Zeus. All right, and it's trying to. Ooh, it's moving. It's moving up a little bit. It's breaking through that 160. Come on, baby, come on. Break through that 160 for Papi Chulo. Come on. Yeah. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, IBG has some Innovation Beverage Corp expanded to the U.S. distribution of its award-winning bitters, and through one of their the nation's largest beverage alcohol distributors. So that's what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on. All right, IBG is hitting 220, 230. That's what it's hitting now. So we got to see what happens with this stunk. It just hit 165. We got to see if it stays above the 160 mark. It looks like it should be, but again, you never know. You never know. All right, right now it is forming a bit of a double top here. I don't like that double top. I like the double bottom. It's got to break through. It's got to break through this little line over here for it to stay schmexy to me. Yep. Has to do that, man. Otherwise, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Oh. All right, let's see what we got going on. All right, so IBG currently needs to break through that little white line that I just made there, because that is a double top formation. So we don't want that. We like double bottoms. Otherwise, if it doesn't break through that, what you have is a potential shoulder, head, shoulder pattern over here. Take a look. All right, you got shoulder, boom, head, and then potentially, if it goes down, another shoulder. You don't want that. You want it to go up. All right. Because then if it does a shoulder, head, shoulder, it's going to go down. But if it does, like, say, a reverse head and shoulders, that'd be great. Right? You never know. You never know. All right? It's a little bit overbought on the RSI. Little bit overbought on the RSI. So it's probably trying to abide by that. But, ladies and gentlemen, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. All right? Let's take a look at the float. The float is 3.23 million. Volume is still 78.25 million. Wow. So that's looking schmexy. I'm liking that. I'm liking that part. That part is kind of schmexy because guess what? Right? A higher volume than a low float, high volume.
That's a lot.
Yes. You know what I mean? And it looks like it could be potentially forming that head and shoulders though. So I'm not a big fan of that. Ladies and gentlemen. It did have that nice little ABCD pattern, but big butts, and I do not lie. Okay, it is forming an ABCD. I hope it doesn't, but you never know. I mean, it is a little bit extended. All right, so we'll see what goes down. Right now. But right now, it looks like it's trying to stay. It's trying to break above it. Oh, it looks like it's trying to break above it. Okay. Hitting 161. Has to break that 161 mark for it to somewhat be schmexy. It did a little bit. It broke through it a little bit at 162. But again, this stonk has a very, very high volume and a reasonable float. So it could potentially keep moving. All right, let's see what goes on. Could just be like a little minor setback in the road. All right, it could be. Let's take a look. Let's see. Right now it's hitting 162. That's good. That means it's breaking through that little resistance at 161. That's good. I like that. It has another resistance line over here, though. Another resistance line it does have to break over, right over here at 165. Has to break through that for it to be schmexy. Right now, that is a resistance line. Jimmy John Baptiste. Hello, Jimmy.
Yes.
Any thoughts on CNTM? CNTM we called. We called CNTM prior to its 152% run.
Right.
I'll show you. Let me show it to you while we wait for IBG to do its thing.
Yes.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we called quite a few. We called IBG prior to its 251% run. DGLY prior to its 216% run. RSLS prior to its 103% run, QNRX prior to 101% run, and CNTM prior to that 152% run. We call that all in our private Discord, ladies and gentlemen. So link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. Check out our 4-day trial for only $1.99 for the real-time alerts and scanners, ladies and gentlemen. Them custom scanners, them pics, all that good stuff. You can find it right there. 4-day trial, $1.99. Anyways, let's check out CNTM right now. CNTM right now, as of now, it did have a nice run, but it is below the VWAP right now. It was a bit overbought in the RSI earlier, but it did have a nice jump all the way to $1.27. It did hit that 152% run. However, it does look like it's going down right now a little bit. Well, let's check out the float and the volume. The float is 14.24 million, so it's a little high. The volume is 13.37 million. So, with this stonk right here, right, you gotta be careful because the volume is lower than the float, and the float's a little bit high. So it's gonna be a little bit slow on the draw there. Normally, right? Normally a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna zoom in the room here. All right. It is consolidating a little bit and like moving down just slightly. Again, it was a bit overbought earlier, so it's right now it's trying to even itself out a little bit. But let's see what happens. I mean, it does have some good news. They received a buyout offer from institutional investors for $1.60 per share, and they also have some company earnings that are supposed to be coming out today. So they have some expected company earnings. Today. Yeah, and that came out. That news came out 7 o'clock Eastern time, and then their 160 per share buyout offer news came out at around 8 o'clock, and then again at 8:22. So they got that going on, and it looks like they got that little buyout offer. So we'll see what goes on with CNTM. It's a bit of a high float, not normally something I would call, but we called it. But yeah, we called it. It did its thing. Had a nice little run up 152%. So we'll see what happens there. We called it on the pre-market Discord, the private pre-market Discord. So yeah, check that out. Link is in the description down below, so there's a pinned comment section. But yeah, it is currently 91% right now. Had a nice move up and then went down. So it'd be like that. So I got some hopes for the stunk. Maybe it'll do something nice. Maybe it'll do something nice. The volume is creeping up because the volume prior to this, earlier when we first checked it out, was 8 million. Now it's 13 million. So we'll see what happens. We shall see what goes on with this stunk, ladies and gentlemen. We shall. Yes. But for now, let's check out IBG, because IBG just does what IBG does. Let's check that out. So I hope that helps, Jimmy. But let's check something else out here. So as far as CNTM goes, by the way, I like it, me personally. Right now, I kind of like it a little bit. It's got a high float, though, so there are some things you got to keep an eye on. But let's check this out. Yeah, there's a couple of things I got to keep an eye on there. So let's zoom in the room. All right. IBG, little bit overbought, little bit extended, dropped down, had a drop down. All right. Little bit of a head and shoulders here. All right, a little bit of head and shoulders. Let's get rid of this one over here. All right, and let's remove that drawing bot. All right, a little bit of a head and shoulders starting to form. Not liking that too much. Let's hope it doesn't do that, but it does look like it's doing that. So let's see, a little shoulder, head, right, and a potential shoulder, a potential shoulder around these parts over here. So right now it looks like it's moving down a little bit. So, unfortunate, but had a nice little ABCD. It did have a bunch of ABCDs, though. It did have a nice run. Had a nice run up 251%. So, right now, it got a little bit extended. It got a little extendo. All right, now it's doing the ejectocito. So, you never know. All right, so, let's check out another stonk. What else we got? All right, somebody said Sidu. Let's check out Sidu. SIDU. All right, SIDU. All right, currently hit a high of $1.91. $1.91, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's see here. Yeah. All right, so Sidu, also known as Sidus Space Inc., signed an extended and amended preliminary $120 million agreement with Lone Star for lunar data storage spacecraft, and this came out at 8:30 Eastern Time. So you got that going on.
Yes.
Let's go and check out the float. The float for the stunk is 4.08 million. Volume is 4.74 million. So the volume is a little bit higher than the float. I like that. However, ladies and gentlemen, again, gotta be careful. I gotta be careful on this one, because the way I see it, me personally, I think that it's not. The volume is above the float, but it's not terribly above the float. You know what I mean? It's like 70,000.
Yeah.
You know, shares above the float. So we'll see what goes on there. Deanne, thank you for that subscription. Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Thank you for subscribing.
Thank you for subscribing. Yes, sir. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's go check out. All right, let's check this out over here. All right, so right now, what we got going on is we got a couple of levels over here. $1.91. That is the absolute high. All right. After that, we got some more movement. 183. All right. You got 178 over here. All right. Then you got a support line all the way down here at 166. It does have like a steep drop over here. All right. And we got another one over here at 161. Another one all the way over here at 153. Another one down here at 150. You also have one, hold on, let's see, 188, that one as well. Almost forgot about that. All right, got one at 161. You got another one over here at 142. That's a support line. Some support all the way down here at 140, 139. All right, and that's what we got going on. But for now, it does have to hold above this 161 support line, which it's not doing, unfortunately. But see what happens with the stunk. We shall see what happens with the stunk. It did fall below the VWAP. SIDU again had news that they signed an extended and amended preliminary $120 million agreement with Lone Star for lunar data storage spacecraft. So you got that going on. Float for the stunk is 4.08 million. Volume is 5.27 million. So the volume is creeping up, but we'll have to see what happens with the stunk. It is falling below the VWAP. It was a bit overbought earlier today, a little bit overbought, and now it seems like it's trying to even itself out a little bit. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. All right, now it's not overbought or oversold, so we got that going on. Let's see. All right, let's check out another one. Let's check out another one, ladies and gentlemen. Another one. Another one. You know what I mean? Another one.
Let's see.
All right, another one. Let's see. Let's see. Did we check out QNRX?
I'm trying.
Let's check it out. Oh, wait. IBG. IBG is curling.
Oh, hey now.
See, look what happens when I turn away.
Oh my.
Look what happens when I turn away. All of a sudden now it wants to go to 240. Okay. All right, IBG. I see you. I see you. I see you. Look at me. Look at me. I see you. I see you. Put some pants on. I see you. I see you with that Lucky Charms cereal. I see you. All right. It did form a... Wow. Okay. All right. You bamboozled me a little bit there, IBG. You bamboozled me. I was like, you know what I mean? The volume, the float and the volume seem a little too right. You know what I mean? And then now all of a sudden, bop, right there, hits a new high and now wants to go down a little bit. Breaks through a couple of the support and resistance lines. Breaks through 160, breaks through 165, breaks through 167, and then breaks through 173. Now it's dropping down a little bit because it is a bit extended, a little bit overbought on the RSI, so it's going to drop down a little bit. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. It just has a major price spike the moment I turn my head because, you know, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. I'm sorry. I love that song. Anyways.
Next.
Well, actually, it's Some Things Will Never Change, but in the Tupac version, it's Some Things and Things Will Never Be the Same.
Yes.
So you never know. You never know. But it be like that. It be like that, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
It be like that. So, I love that song. I love that song.
I like the original version, Frank.
The original version is great, but the changes by Tupac version is pretty good. I love that one. I'm gonna be real with you. I like that one. That was a bop. I'm sorry. It is. It is a bop. All right, but it is still a bit overbought in the RSI. Now it's not overbought or oversold in the RSI, but it is leaning towards being overbought. So it's a little extendo, a little extendo. You know what I mean? It's a little extendo. So we gotta get some. Let's get the graffiti pencil over here. It's got a bit of a pennant that it needs to break. Oh, right there. Has to break through this little pennant over here. Has to break above the pennant for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It has to break through that 167 mark over here and then that 173 mark over here for it to be somewhat schmexy to me. All right, so we got that going on right there. We got that going on. We got that on. We got that on.
It's
Yes.
It's camping.
Yes. So you know what? While we're watching IBG, I do have a little bit of a story time. A little story time. Happened a couple of nights ago. It's hilarious. All right, but basically, we end up having I was playing a game. Oh, see, IBG likes story time, man. It shot up. It likes story time, man.
It likes the story time.
It likes story time. All right. Hold on. Let me continue. Let me continue. All right. So I'm playing my game. I'm chilling out. It's nice. It's a nice quiet evening. I'm having a good time. Right. You know, sometimes in Florida you get spiders. One of them jumped on my hand,
Oh.
and all DBL moms heard was "wow." So my friends were like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I had a spider jump on my hand." Oh.
You know.
Ah. Yeah, that's the man.
Sure,
I'll tell you what.
Jump on your hand. See what would you say?
Yeah. No. Don't even worry about it. I got something for them.
Uh-huh.
Distribute a spider to their home. See what they like it. One of them big ones too, not like a tiny one. No, big. So.
Right.
That scared the hell out of me, man. But yeah, no, IBG is currently doing this thing right now. It has to break through this little line over here because it's forming a bit of a double top. Again, it is a bit overbought, so it's trying to even itself out. We'll see what goes on there.
Uh-huh.
All right?
Yeah.
Let's check out CNTM. Let's see what they're doing. CNTM. Let's see.
Go.
Right now, CNTM is trying to stay above the 86-cent support line and trying to break through that 93-cent resistance line. But it's on a bit of a downtrend, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a downtrend because, you know, it's doing its thing there. It's very far below the VWAP, so we'll see what happens. Let's see what else we got here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right.
Yeah.
Do we have... We already looked at Sidu. We checked that one. Yes, we checked that one. All right.
We got, let's see.
Let's see. This is going to be the last stonk. This one's the last one for the day. All right, because yeah, it's almost that time, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost that time.
Yes.
All right. So, let's see. What else we got? Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see here. All right. Oh, 1 second.
Yes, sir.
1 second. Un segundo.
Okay, 2 segundos.
Yes. Well, couple segundos. But let's see. SBFM.
Yeah, SPFM.
We can check that one. Yeah, let's check out SBFM. That'll be the last one for the day.
Yes.
All right, SBFM. Let's check it out. SBFM.
Yep.
All right. Now, let's check this out over here. So, SBFM has a couple of support and resistance lines that I would like to show you. Right over here at 196, that is absolute support. Absolute resistance is right down here at right up here at 383. So it's got some little sparkies between that. It's got 370. That's another resistance line. 359, another resistance line. Another resistance over here at 346. Another one over Mya at 335. Got another one down here at 332. Another one over here at 317. Another one over here at 302. Another one over here at 279. Another one all the way over here at the 271 mark. Another one over here at 249. Another one over here at 231. And then, of course, a couple over here at 204. And then 207.
Right.
So you got that going on right there. Those are the support and resistance lines. Right now, it's got to hold that support at $3.16 and break through at 331. It is a bit below the VWAP as well with SPFM. A little bit below the VWAP, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's currently up 54%.
Yes.
It did have some news that they announced some positive results of their mRNA therapy for cancer. And they also reported for fiscal year results. So they did report those as well. And a revenue of $34.9 million in fiscal 2024, up 45% from last year. So they came out with that one actually yesterday. But then the fiscal year results that came out at 12:55 a.m. Eastern time, and then after that, this positive mRNA result therapy for cancer that came out earlier this morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. The float for this stunk is 2 million, so the float is pretty reasonable. Volume is 19.31 million, so the volume is above the float, and you know how I love the volume being above the float. It is a bit below the VWAP, though. Had some history of being overbought a little bit, but nothing crazy so far. So right now it's not overbought, not oversold. It's just doing its thing. We'll see what happens with this stunk. Has to hold at that 318 cent line there, and 331. It has to break through there as well. So we got that going on. So yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen, as far as SBFM is concerned. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as ring that bell icon to stay notified when new videos are uploaded. And remember to share, because sharing is caring, ladies and gentlemen. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
And if you want to get access to our 4-day trial for our real-time alerts and scanners for $199, link to join us in the description down below, as well as the pinned comment section. So be sure to check that out. We pick a lot of baggers a lot of times. We're just made different. And the early bird gets the cash, the moolah, the loot, the cashola, the big bucks, I tell you. Yeah. All right. So that's what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. Having a good time, chilling out, doing our thing. And yeah, that's it. All right. So, of course, it's your boy, DBLNix, in the house, a.k.a. the Rainmaker.
Yes.
All right. And I am here with the lovely Serengeti specialist, the one shaking her bushy tail in the tall weeds, high trees, low seas, hitting them high knees. Sometimes she's got on a jet ski. Sometimes she has on regular skis. Sometimes she likes RBs. Sometimes she doesn't like RBs. Well, actually, no, she likes RBs. She likes the curly fries. She likes those. You do.
Okay.
You remember?
Oh, yeah.
The curly fries.
But I have there's a lot of curly fries out there.
Yeah,
But I know they got the meats.
They have the meats, yes.
The meats.
All right.
All right.
Arby's, by the way, sponsorship, man. Hit me up. Hit me up.
Hit us up.
Hit me up. Have your people talk to my people. Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on, papi. I'll hook you up. All right. Anyway. And then sometimes she has 2 cups of coffee.
Yes.
Especially that Cafe Bustelo, that Cuban crack.
Now.
Anyways.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. And then, what was the other one? You have 2 cups of coffee. Oh, yes. Shooting you out the can and you go, wee! We call her DB on Moms. Hey. DB on Moms. Hey. There we go.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for me, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much. We love you. We hope you have a fantastic day. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us on YouTube at Coach Money.
At Coach Money.
Where we do a lot of stunk reviews. We did one for RSLS literally last night prior to its 103% run. We called IBG prior to its 251% run. DGLY prior to its 216% run. QNRX prior to that 101% run. And CNTM prior to that 152% run. And then yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, we called some good ones as well. We called over Hold on. We called RSLS up 709, BIAF up 484, GRI at 283, NMAX at 183, GATE at 170, CSAI 136, ICCT 126, and HEPA 120. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we are just made different. Just made different, man. I mean, 709% in a day.
Yes.
That was yesterday.
Yes.
All right. 251% just this morning.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. I'm just saying, like,
The highest one, anyway.
hey,
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
So check out that 4-day trial for the real-time alerts and scanners for $199, ladies and gentlemen. That's a bargain.
Yes.
All right. Anyways, so that's what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got going on.
Yep.
All right. So check us out on X.com, aka Twitter, at Coach Money,
At Coach Money.
where we do a lot of stunk updates and analysis, as well as sometimes we do a little bit of videos, and we live stream there as well. So you can check us out there.
Right.
You can find us on Twitch at Coach Money.
At Coach Money.
At Coach Money, where we do a lot of live streams there. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Coach Nick Money,
At Coach Money.
where we do some stunk analysis and some news. Of course, we check out the news. All right. Of course, on the YouTube, by the way, you can find stunk analysis, news, and then sometimes you find some pearls of wisdom from Mama Money,
Yeah,
our very
Mama
own Mama
Money.
Money. And then you got TikTok, Tiki Taki,
Tiki-taki,
at
tiki-taki.
DBL Nicks,
At DBL Nicks.
at DBL NICKS, and the stream name is Coach Nick Money.
All right.